Hi Deepernauts and welcome to another video. This time it is what is NPOW. Now most of you guys know what NPOW is already. It stands for Next Generation Proof of Work. However, I still get comments on the YouTube videos that people don't know what it is and they're asking what it is. If they're not part of the beta, then obviously they've got no way of taking part, so they might not realise what it is. There's an article about this which I'll link in the description below, and let's get to it. So a really good example of proof of work at the minute is Bitcoin. It was one of the first cryptos out there. It's groundbreaking and we have it to thank for a lot of things going on in the world. And what it basically did was you would use computers and their power to solve mathematical equations, which would then be basically providing a use case for the Bitcoin itself. So you would buy a computer, you would mine Bitcoin, and it would just solve as many mathematical equations as it possibly could, and eventually it would work its way through, and you could hit a block which would give you Bitcoin. And the difficulty went up and up and up, and that's basically a really good basic example of proof of work. Now the problem is that Bitcoin, although it's amazing, it doesn't provide any use case outside of Bitcoin. So yeah, sure, it solves mathematical equations so you can get Bitcoin, but it doesn't provide a benefit outside of the actual coin. The coin itself is what drives the price and gives it the use case, because you can buy things with it and it's widely accepted and it's really, really cool. And it's worth an absolute ton as well. But there are a few downsides, and when Bitcoin first came round, you had to buy computers and anybody could mine Bitcoin, and they'd probably get a few because it was really easy and you didn't need powerful hardware, although it helped. Now, the difficulty is so high that you pretty much do need really good mining farms or a really powerful computer. And there's no guarantee that you will make that money back, because the difficulty is so high and the cost of the energy to run these things is so high, you might actually end up mining for a loss, which nobody will do. Nobody with brains anyway. So that presents an issue, and environmental groups, they've kind of targeted things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the proof of work coins, where you need to have a computer solving a hash and it uses a lot of electricity. They said it's bad for the environment, etc., etc. NFTs were the same. They got rinsed because people were saying it costs so much to mint an NFT. It wasn't quite right, but they do have a point with Bitcoin. The electricity use is quite high. That's where other proof of work concepts come in. So I have a wild guess of which proof of concept or proof of work device I'm going to plug. Yep, Deeper Connect Mini and the Mini SE, and soon to be the Air. The Air can also do this as well. So what these guys do is they don't use computing power in the same way as what Bitcoin did. They have they don't solve mathematical equations just for the sake of giving DPR to people. What it does is it actually provides a service to an external body. So it's all on the Ethereum chain, and whoever these external bodies are, they'll issue a task. And the task, or whatever dApp they have, they'll issue a task, and it'll be sent to one of our devices in our homes. So it could be a Mini SE, Mini, or Air, and the task will go on the screen, and the device will sort out the task, it'll do it, and then it'll confirm it's been done, and we get paid. It'll issue us with like a work credit, and then we get a DPR amount based on that. And this is completely automatic. You don't have to do anything. As soon as you install the dEP firmware, or once it arrives to everybody, you just click the little switch in the top left to on, and that is it. You just leave it. Eventually it will start to get tasks and it'll solve them, and then to get your DPR you just hit the withdraw button and you get your DPR. Easy as that. And that is the future of Deeper. Or rather, it's the future of how you're going to earn with Deeper. Mining will go into 2024 at the minute. But let's look at where we get our tasks from, because obviously the work has to come to the devices, but where does that work actually come from? And there are a few places. The first big place will be the dEP store. So you can see here, this is the dashboard or the firmware which we get as part of the test team. This is Battle City. So you can see we're in the DApp store there of the new little tab called DEP. Now, in that DApp store tab, you're going to have loads of DApps. A couple have been developed already, but the one that we have access to, just as a test, is Battle City. Now, it's not a very good game. Don't stress yourself if you can't play it. It's not really worth it. However, it's just to test how it all goes together and works. The DApps that we have, they're going to be pretty cool. There was a YouTube clone, which they said they were going to do. A private chat one, which they said they were going to do. Don't forget, when the Deeper Pro comes out at the end of the year, well, hopefully by the end of the year, a lot of that is going to be NPOW based. So when you request to host a website, if it can do that, that'll probably go through the DEP as well. If you want to store information, some parts of that might go through the DEP. There's also a lot of ideas floating around, and I've had contact with a lot of people with some amazing plans. The big one, which I think could be absolutely incredible, is a YouTube kind of app where you pay the money. So you'll pay your EZC, which is going to be the new coin for the Howey test, and you might pay, say, $20, okay, in EZC. Sounds expensive, but listen to this. What you'll do is you'll say, right, I want all the nodes to go and watch a video. So straight away, you paste your link for the YouTube video in, and all those nodes will then watch that video, and they'll then get a share of the DPR. Right? So it's win-win, because you'll do the work, you'll get the DPR for doing absolutely nothing, and they'll win because they're going to get 80,000 views. Well, by then it might even be more of YouTube, and the money they'll make from that is amazing. Maybe you can set it to like that video. Imagine getting 80,000 likes, or subscribe to that channel. 80,000 subs, like that, straight away. And that is cheap. That's incredibly cheap. You could do the view thing all day long. You could get 80,000 views on a video. You could have 10 videos. Yeah, sure, you might pay $20 per video. That's $200, but you might make more than that just in views. You could just do that forever and just make money hand over fist. And all the people with nodes in their houses, they'll make money and they won't have to do anything. They won't even know it's doing it. And YouTube will never be able to beat that, because the way that Deep Network is, all their nodes are private nodes. They're not part of some giant VPS or VPN server farm. They're just random people in their homes. It looks completely legit. They will never be able to distinguish from it. And that's massive. I've had loads of people come up with that idea and come to me and say, I want to get this done. So that's going to be ace. I mean, you could literally just set up a brand new YouTube channel and instantly get 80,000 subs, release 100 videos that are full of nothing, right, or just terrible videos that take you 2 seconds to make, right, or 3 minutes each, and then just do this and get 80,000 views and 80,000 likes on every single video. You can make thousands. And this is how decentralized things like Deeper can work, because you can't stop it. Anyway, so enough daydreaming about YouTube and how much I'll make a day, fingers crossed. Where else does this information come from? So we know that these devices now, they can solve and arrange information in a way where they take in the raw input, they solve it, and they give it back, and we get paid for that. So what kind of data could we receive from corporations? Well, there's quite a lot. Mainly data that surrounds the counting of things. So, for example, PlanetWatch is a pretty big project. They've had a lot of hassle recently. But imagine you had something like that. Maybe you had a company that releases a device that does PlanetWatch stuff. They analyze the air, they give GPS coordinates, they measure the amount of sunlight, the amount of air pollution. That information needs to be processed, and the amount of information that they get will be massive, huge amounts of information, and that costs money. Okay, they need resources to crunch all of that and present it in a way which is good. So what they could do is just say, right, okay, Deeper, we'll set up a contract, we'll feed all of this information automatically into it, and your devices will use your devices and your nodes to all solve the information that we need. All 80,000 computers, which is basically what a mini is. You know, it's a tiny basic computer. So once that's done, the data goes to the mini or the network, gets crunched down into a format which they want. It goes back as solved data, and they then pay us. We've done the work. We get a work credit, which then translates into a DPR credit. Other uses could be if you have a local authority or a government, perhaps. That's a pretty big deal, but you know, and they say, right, we have traffic management stuff. You know, we have we've been counting cars. We have networks that count cars all day, every day, and traffic. So how many cars at what time, what color they were, how big they were, you know, how many people were in them, etc., etc. And they don't want to have a random person sat down crunching through all this information. It'd be impossible. But if they had 80,000 computers all over the world who could do it in 5 minutes, you're damn right they'd do it. Okay? So those are the kind of things. I mean, I could go on all day about this, but I don't want to because the video's too long now. Is. But that is what NPOW is. It's basically an Ethereum chain contract and smart system, or smart contract system, which issues tasks to the devices, and the devices solve them and give them back, and we get paid for it. That is the bare bones of what NPOW is. Doesn't use loads of electricity, and it's good for the environment, I suppose. It's good for us because we get paid, and that is the future of earning with Deeper networks. Now, I'm just going to touch on this quickly. I wasn't going to do it because it's not really part of this video, and I'm going to do a much bigger video surrounding the future of Deeper in regards to earning. Okay, so just to be really brief, there was a graphic, this graphic, which sucked. It's not right. Most of it was wrong. There was a tiny bit which was correct, but mining is not going to stop until next year. So don't worry about it. NPOW will be rolled out to everybody this year. So you'll have a hybrid situation where you'll earn the rewards from mining and staking, and you'll also get your NPOW rewards at the same time. So you could be making, right at this time, if you were on tier 8, 200 DPR a day. And that is coming. That's great news, you know? We'll all get loads of tokens. We can keep hold of them until mining stops next year, and then the price should hopefully go up. Not financial advice. So NPOW will be released this year to everybody, and then next year, when NPOW is in a place where it can earn us money, because they're not just going to say, right, mining's finished, you can only do NPOW and you can only earn 3 DPR a day. Not going to happen. Okay, Deeper have already said that it's going to be a case of when NPOW is ready, that is when mining will stop. And Eric Ma has said that NPOW will be more profitable than mining, which is fantastic news. So there's a sale on now for the Mini SE. It's like with my code, it works out at £85 each, 65% off. That's an incredible deal. And if I was doing something, I would set up a farm. I've already got 31 devices, all dotted around the northeast of England, so I don't need them. I've got enough, I think. Although I was tempted to buy another 10, but no. So that is the video about what is NPOW. A brief look at where the tasks come from, what the bare bones of it is, and the future of earning with Deeper. There's going to be another video about earning with Deeper, which will be much longer and better. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and take care. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday for the weekly roundup. Bye bye.